hello everyone. How is it going? I see we've got one or two people in the chat, which is nice to see. Hello Jan, how are you? And we've got Cal as well. Hello Cal. And we have Dominique. Hello Dominique. Lovely jubbly. Glad to see you. I don't really know what's going on today. I'm here. Powder Puff Girls, is it not Powerpuff Girls? I think it's Powerpuff Girls, Jan. Powder Puff Girls. I'm sure it's Powerpuff Girls. I'm glad to see we've got a high level of intellect in the chat here. Kelsey's just glad the account isn't flooded with videos of Loud House, Powerpuff Girls, Adventures of Flapjack, and random logo mashups. That sounds interesting. Anyway, yes, I'm here, freshly washed, although you can't smell me, I smell beautiful. I just had to go, see, I know nothing, yes. I had to do a bit of running about this morning, so I basically just sort of came in the house and flung myself in the shower. So that's kind of where we're at. I haven't even, like, I don't have a scrap of makeup on either. This is about as fresh-faced as you're ever going to get me. The inner workings of an autistic mind, yes. Yes, I can see where that's come from. I think it's going to be quite quiet today in terms of people in the actual live. I didn't do any announcements or anything. I'm too busy. I took some much needed time to myself for an hour or two this morning just to play some computer games because I haven't done any of that either. But I'm just, I feel, although I'm sleeping like a baby, see, because I'm really tired, I am literally sleeping right through, which is not a thing for me ever. So that's been quite nice, but it is just sheer exhaustion and nothing else. So I'm not really firing on all cylinders, though I am very, very tired. I've also hurt my foot as well. I think it may be the fact that I need new running shoes, but I have got considerable foot pain on the bottom and around the side of my foot, so I had to skip my run this morning, which kind of burst my bubble a little bit because I'm getting on really well. So I'm feeling just like a little bit deflated today, quite low energy, and I thought, what better way to have a good end to the day than to have a live stream, because y'all always cheer me up when I'm doing this, so this is really nice. I'm going to be carrying on today with the gouache painting. I have not touched it. I literally have not tickled a paintbrush to it since the last time, so yeah, that's where we're headed today, and I don't really have any art stuff to talk about, which is kind of ridiculous given that, you know, that's kind of what we do here. I've hardly been arting at all, but that's just it's just the way of it at this time of year, unfortunately. When do you get your new shoes? I am going next Thursday. So I'm just going to rest my foot and see how it goes. I still have to walk the dogs, and that was very uncomfortable this morning. So yeah, I've not got too long to wait. May I suggest you tell us what isn't painful? It might be quicker. I was going to say something really inappropriate there. Yeah, I'm not exactly like a bundle of joy just now. Saying that to Mr. Jem this morning, both of us have done nothing but moan for the past like week. And it's just a case of we're just kind of sitting in like a mire of our own gloom and doom just now. But we will get over it. At least the sun is shining and it's been a lovely day here. And hopefully, not even 10 minutes in and boobs, yeah. You knew that was coming. That's it. I didn't even have to say it. I didn't even have to say it. It's fine. It's great. And good. If you want something a bit more positive though, the good news is that I am officially no longer plus size on my bottom half. I was at that horrible in-betweeny stage where nothing fits me, and I decided to go and get some new jeans and things and a new pair of running leggings as well. And I bought 3 different items from 3 different shops, and all of them were a size 14, which is the last regular size before you head into plus size in the UK, and they all fit. So I am officially a 14 on the bottom half of my body now, which is lovely. So really quite pleased about that. Also, my metal watch strap that I usually wear, the black one, it's starting to get quite loose, and one of the things this watch does is it takes your heart rate and your step count, and it has to be at a specific tightness for it to work properly. It's too loose with the metal strap now to take a proper reading, but it's not quite loose enough for me to take a link out yet. So I'm on my sweaty watch band. This is the one that I use for running. So actually, you know, like people say to me, like, where have you lost like 55 pounds off my left wrist? So there we go. I do have some happy news. I've also got my John Deere t-shirt on today, which I haven't had on for a little while because it was quite tight around my middle, and it is now sitting the way it should a lady's t-shirt. So it's form fitting, but it's not like exposing, like, you know, muffin tops or anything. So that's there's the positive side. I promise I won't moan for the whole stream. Anywho, the other thing that is art related that I am doing, and which is going to take up the little bit of time that I have, is I've actually got a commission to design a business logo, and it's for Mr. Jem. He is starting to sell his wild venison and possibly some lamb and beef locally through one of our neighbours who has a farm shop, and distributing it to local businesses. And he's asked me to design the logo for the packaging, so we're working on that as well. It's quite harmonious so far. So I've been spending a wee bit of time designing that and coming up with ideas and what not. So that's kind of nice. Mr. Jem and I generally work quite well together. Obviously in the past, not where we are now, but we've worked together on farms previously, and we don't argue a lot when we're working. So we're going to carry on with that, and that's kind of like, yeah, that's it. Also, my Sea White wholesale order should be here today. I had mentioned last time that I'm going to start to stock the Molotov masking pens, the blue ones, you know, for doing your for masking off areas from your watercolouring. They should be arriving later on today, so they'll be up in the shop in the next few days as well. Wild venison, how annoyed is it? Well, it's not annoyed at all because it's dead. So yeah, there we go. Excellent. I'm going to pop down to this the top down view, and this is where, what does a pissed off deer look like? I don't know though, because they always run away. Standard configuration here in the cave. I've got Jock behind me. He's just doing his usual plodding about. Pip is asleep on the armchair in the living room. Again, kind of standard, so nothing out of the ordinary. I do have all the same stuff that I had last week. I can't find my very fancy palette. You know, the old IKEA plate that I usually use. I like to have a bit more space for mixing when I'm using gouache. So this was my next alternative. This is also ceramic. I don't do plastic palettes. I don't like them. So, oh, my watch has just told me that my event, WIP Wednesday's starting. Well, my watch is clearly more efficient than YouTube. That's from the Discord. Thanks, Thea. I don't even think Thea's here, is she? Which is even funnier, because it's her that sets it all up, the Discord. So these are all the colours that I was using last time, and also if you remember for, I think probably, maybe Dominique wasn't here, I brought out my greens as well because I'm working on the greenery that's stuck to this wall. So that's kind of where we're at. And what I want to do is, I want to darken down some of these lines, work on these mossy parts a wee bit, and then start working on this area here. So work on the path and getting the base layer for the greenery. So again, I've got the original here, so you can see kind of the direction that I want to go in with that. Just taking my time a bit more careful, a bit more detailed, and yeah, that's kind of what we're going to do. So I think I did have a grey somewhere. Yes, this one here, and it's called grey. Stalker mode. So I'm going to start with this grey. I'll pop that in there. I've got a cut on my thumb as well, and it's making it really awkward to like screw and unscrew things. Hi Ulrika, how are you? I was playing my Steam Deck, and there's so that's like it's like a handheld console, but there's trackpads on both sides, and the game I was playing last night needed me to use the right hand trackpad, so this thumb, and see when you've got a plaster on it, it doesn't register properly, so I got a proper good thumb workout last night. I gave up eventually. My neighbour downstairs is groaning and growling, bless it. What's wrong with your neighbour? Right, I need to find some. I think I used up the last of the black last time. Oh no, there it is. Back from the optician and dentist. Elsa, you've gone for a proper service today, Ulrika. Happily installed with a cup of tea. I'm drinking some Hocus Pocus black tea. I don't even know what's in it. It's okay. But yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice. But I'm trying to steer clear of like regular tea in the afternoons, like for caffeine content. So back soon, just nipping out to check your washing. Okay, Jan, we'll see you in a bit. Yeah, I had like a just a clear plastic bag of tea bags that were not that are like all like fruit or herbal infusions. So I just kind of picked one out and stuck it in a mug and thought, I'll see what happens. It seems as if there's maybe been some fruit like wafted past it at some point. Other than that, not entirely sure what's in it, but that's okay. I'm just looking for a wee. There's the Hemi brush. I'm going to use this to mix. It's kind of all it's good for now, honestly. So let's just stick a bit of this in here. I've not warmed my hand up today either. I was trying to do like a digital kind of mock-up for this logo that I've just been talking about this morning on my iPad, and my hand was so unsteady. It looks like a 90-year-old had drawn the outline. So at that point I was like, right, okay, we'll maybe wait until later till we've actually used our hand and try again. Oh, so yeah. Anywho, let me just, oh, I forgot my dragon, hang on. Oh. There he is. Pop my paintbrush on him. Yeah, so I just want to put in a little bit more. Oh, that's really light. That's not going to do at all. That won't do at all. I don't have to mix this. That more or less black last time. I can't remember. See, because it was last week. I've got poor memory. Yeah, that's still too light. It must have been like close to neat black I was using. Huh, okay. You've been trying to get your new glasses sorted, having problems. Oh, okay. Hey Mary, how's it going? Just a check-up at the dentist, that's always good. Yeah, I quite enjoy going to the dentist because I very rarely have any issues. Just go for a good clean and let the dentist have a poke about, you know? That's the best way. Oh, goodness me. I have to say, I'm very lucky with my teeth. Genetically blessed in terms of teeth. I could probably do with getting them whitened again, just on the account of the amount of tea that I drink. I noticed that they're looking quite stained again. I've only ever had them whitened once. I got them done just before I got married, so that was 8 years ago. So maybe I'm due a top up. I don't want to go daft here. But I just want to kind of accentuate, that's the word, some areas. Make them a bit more interesting. Because why not? I'll probably poke about with that a bit more. You know, that'll be one of those ones I'll keep eyeballing it and just kind of like, I find when I'm doing stuff like this, it's better to have like the brush to be a bit drier. Gives you more sort of texturedness, just texture. That's the only word we use. I feel like I can go for this colour on the gateposts as well. Woo. Get that nice sort of slightly murky look going on there. And then I'm just smoothing that out, literally just a damp brush there. Smooth that out, that'll dry a wee bit lighter. Yeah, like it. Hi Wendy, how are you? We've got a few people creeping in now. Good stuff. This is kind of one of these details that I find that I just, like, I can't leave it alone. I'm like, oh, there's another little bit. Oh, there's another little bit. I feel like this is suitably, what's the word? Whimsical enough to, like, fit the picture now. Whereas I felt in the other one it was a wee bit too regimented for what I wanted. That's probably closer to what the gate looks like in real life. The green door that we talk about that's not a door and it's not green. I had a wee bit of a moan at the start, Wendy. I'm just really tired, but generally speaking, I'm actually quite good. Thank you for asking. All things considered, there's not one bit of me hanging the right way just now, but I don't feel poorly for it. So, hey Maxie, how are you? Oh, everybody's coming in now. I like this. Okay, so I want to grab that lovely green that I used last week. So that was the Holbein gouache. This is lovely gouache. Like, I really, really like it. Very expensive. But we're going to take a wee bit of that. Splodge it out. It's so thick. Like, the consistency is just lovely. It's, oh, yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. And I'm going to grab a bit of white, which I'm surprised I haven't dug out already, to be honest. Was it the white tube I finished off that? This is what I'm saying, like, I cannot remember. My memory is absolutely terrible for stuff like this. See, just because it's not that important, it doesn't register with me at all. And then I wonder why I don't know my arse from my elbow sometimes. That's a good Scottish expression for you. If you don't know your arse from your elbow, you don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm going to have to grab some white from somewhere. Just give me a wee second. Oh. I knew I had another black somewhere that wasn't quite used up. Oh, I've just found it in my white tub. Clearly my system's gone a bit wrong here. Right, so my options are, I don't want to use the zinc white. That's got a kind of like a yellowish tinge to it, so we don't want that. I don't know whether to... I've got permanent white. This is like my go-to, and I think moving forward, you know, other than having a specialist white like the zinc white, you know, if you're looking to lean that way, I really would just stick to this. But seeing as we're using fancy paint today, let's grab the Schminke mixing white. Again, I haven't tried this, so let's see how it does. This could be fun. I say I'm really impressed with the Holbein gouache, and I've used the green Schminke one, so we might as well test this while we're here. A friend of mine went to Japan recently and spent ages inside the art shops. Oh! I'm thinking there should be a yes, yes, yes sticker as part of a live collection. Yes, yes, yes. Because why not? Just for funsies. Oh, there's loads of those kind of catchphrases. Oh, oh. Did you see that? There was a little bit of a squirt there. Oh, I've got lots of things to clean up with, though. It's okay. There's a wee bit kind of stuck in here, just at the top. I'm going to try and kind of scoop this out because I think it's hardened. Oh no, it's not. It's just firm. We can live with that. Okay. That's better. Cleared the blockage. Now that tube has been sitting for a wee while, so I'm gonna give this white a a good rumble round, make sure it's all mixed through properly before I start mixing it with the green. Oh, how many times can I say mix in 2 minutes? Splots. Yeah, because that's really firm. Oh, it feels nice. Oh, yes. Jem likes this. Oh. Oh, look at that. That's a lovely shade of green. Beautiful. Okay, nice. So I want to create some texture with this. So again, like I'm going to be quite dry. So I'm using, I like to use an older brush that's maybe just not, the bristles aren't quite how they used to be. So I don't make them like they used to. And then just kind of like plonk that in and dab off the, that might be a bit too jaggy for what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's going to be too big. Okay. Revert to small brush. Growling at the starlings who were taking all the bird food and not leaving food. I thought you were talking about like a human neighbour. I'm really confused. Or maybe you are. Okay, so yeah, that's dry enough. These little bits on the top, I want to make them a wee bit lighter layer because that'll be getting some of the light from behind. But we also want to be able to incorporate this lighter colour further down. So what we'll do is we'll mix an even lighter variation literally just for the top of there because light, because that's how light works. Oh my god. Oh jeez. It's going to be one of them today, guys. It's such a pretty colour. Just want to see how it's going to dry. See, when I think back to doing the original painting and using the Hemi gouache compared to sitting here now with my schmink and my Holbein, it's night and day. Like, I am not fighting with this paint at all. Not even a tiny, tiny little bit. And it just shows you how ridiculous and frustrated I was using that other paint and only having one paintbrush. Like, I can't cope with one paintbrush. At least give me two. But all in the spirit of the scroller challenge, that's kind of what it's for. I push you a little bit, you know? Speaking of which, that's what I started filming this morning, very, very early on when I decided that running was out of the question. I do have the next scroller box there. So there won't be a live stream next Wednesday. As I said in my post, next Thursday is been a year since my mum passed away. So Papa Jem and I are just taking a wee bit of time together, just a couple of days. But I've got videos lined up, one of which will be the scroller box video. So you can look forward to that instead. But yeah, that's what I was filming this morning with scroller box, and that's Papa Jem gifted us 6 scroller boxes, and the one that I'm filming is scroller box number 4. Like, when did that happen? The year is like running away with me already, and we're, you know, I feel as if I've like blinked. It was Christmas, and then I blinked again, and we're here. Like, it's May. What happened? So I now need to make the decision as to whether or not to carry on the scroller box. I think I might pause the subscription for a couple of months and then get another 6-month subscription. My problem is it's very expensive. I enjoy them, but they're expensive. So I'll have to sort of have a wee think about that. It's only a few weeks until it's, yeah, it's a yeah. But Papa Jem's a wee bit sensitive just now. So we figured we can just be sensitive together. I can feel it though this morning after I decided I wasn't going for a run. I felt really down in the dumps this morning, like I wasn't in a good spot this morning. But I've perked up a bit as the day's gone on, and I think I have to recognise that that's probably something that's affecting me because, you know, much as like Papa Jem and I are going to be together on the day and we're going to keep ourselves busy, we're going to the National Gallery, we're doing something arty, I still dread it coming, and I know it's still not going to be very nice. So, yeah, I think I just have to acknowledge that that's part of it, and it's quite natural, but it just doesn't feel very nice when you feel crap, especially when you're really tired. Yeah, this is about as tired as I get though at this time of year. So I think if I can get through this, then we'll be okay. But it's that sort of sense of it looming, you know. If for all of you, I'm sure all of you have lost someone close to you. It's that it sort of hangs over you a little bit. Right, I'm just grabbing it. Oh my goodness. This is so much paint. Like, I hardly squeezed out anything out of these tubes and I've got an absolute metric butt ton of paint. Good grief. Get Papa Jem to buy you lunch at the gallery. We'll see. The other thing we realised as well is that neither of us have ever been on a tram. So we're going to take the tram when we're in Edinburgh as well. I have never been on a tram in my 40 odd years on the planet. So that might be a nice experience. Something that, you know, that's a first that we can do together. I have to say though, in all honesty, the trams kind of freak me out a wee bit because they're so quiet. And if it wasn't for their little ding ding bell, there is a high probability of getting squashed by one. Round by there's like a shopping centre not far from Princes Street, which is kind of like the main bit in Edinburgh. But the way the track goes round, like it's really windy. And yeah, like you could really easily get mowed down. Down by a tram there if you weren't paying attention. That makes me slightly nervous. It's okay on Princes Street because Princes Street's long and straight and it's very open, like so you can see them coming. But yeah, I don't quite fancy it round the back. Like, oh, maybe not. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit on there as well because why not? We'll see how that dries down as well. That's a really good description, Jan. Hi, Elise. It's a bus on rails. It's like, yeah, it's like a hybrid of a bus and a train, really, isn't it? You're going to Tenerife to face it in the sun. That sounds like a good idea. I like that, Wendy. Went on trams when you were in Germany. It was a bit odd. I kind of like the idea of it. I don't like being a pedestrian around them. Like, I really don't like it. But I think I'll be okay as a passenger. But, well, we're going to find out. I say something. Papa Jim's like getting really adventurous now. Like, he wants to sort of experience things and go and try things and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, we can just be like two tram noobs together. What do you call trams, Elise? Because I know you've got trams in like New Orleans. Do you have a different name for them? Is it like a streetcar? Very curious. Would like to know the answer, please and thank you. Look at the colour of my water. It's like unicorn coloured water. Love it. Okay, I have to decide what's going on down here. One of the things I really liked about the original drawing was the path. Like, I'd see it just turned out perfectly. I don't think I can replicate that, and I don't think I want to replicate it. I have to, like, make it itself. Trolley car. Okay, yeah. Yes, in Boston. There we go. Uh-huh. Same thing, different name. So maybe I want to use... Well, it was a sort of combination of purple and blue and white, and they weren't really mixed together. So, but I really want to keep this gap here so that you can see the light like peeking out through, and naturally that would make this middle bit sort of lighter-ish. So honestly, I don't have a technical way to do this. I'm just going to wing it and see what it looks like and then fix it if it doesn't look good. No mistakes, guys, only happy accidents. Okay, so we had this lovely purple colour, the brilliant purple, and we had the Aegean blue, which I do believe we used a little bit of. Oh, I've also got, was it indigo that I used? I cannot remember. Right, okay, well this is going to be an experience. Excuse me. Let's just whack out some purple and see what happens. Yeah, why not? got a wee bit of a tickle. I'll drink some more of my disgusting tea. Okay, so the first layer here, I'll keep it quite watered down, and we can build this up, because this is very, obviously it's very, very pale. So we'll have a little bit of darker parts here. You can see that looks very watercolor-esque. But we'll just build it up very gradually. I want a bit more of this stronger colour here though. And I'll start to pull in a bit more of the actual paint. Now, because it's been diluted with water, you can see it's drying quite light. So I wanted that cautiousness about it, so that we can build it up. And when it gets to this stage, if you're quick, you can take a damp brush and then just sort of glaze it a little bit. Helps to smooth things out without actually annihilating your paint strokes, which is always nice as well. I do want to introduce some blue into this. I think I'll try. I just want to compare these two side by side. Oh. So that's the Winsor and Newton Indigo. Jan is just considering when is late enough for me not to be called to the office, and then I'm having wine. First 2 days of Boston holiday has been interesting. But it's 3:25. I would say give it another 15 minutes. Adverts are now split screen with live. Somebody mentioned that to me, and I actually thought they were like making a joke. I thought they were having me on, but apparently that's a thing now. Which, yeah, okay. Do you not think that's a much better idea though, instead of getting interrupted? Like if you have to sustain adverts, then I think I want to go with the darker one. This is too light. I'm just going to take this raw as well. Yeah, I would much rather have a split screen advert than having to miss a chunk of the stream, or for it to be interrupted. I think it's a much better idea. Well, that's making that go green. Colour theory, guys. Well, I mean, I suppose that's not terrible. It looks really blue on the camera though, but it's definitely there's definitely a greenish tint to it here. Without a shadow of a doubt. You can still see what's happening. Yeah, that's something I've given up as my paid YouTube account. I think it's, especially as a creator, I think it's an obscene amount of money to be paying every month. And I mean, I don't watch a lot of YouTube now at all. Like, I really, really don't. It's usually just like an odd thing here and there. And it's a lot of money for what it is. So I am back to having adverts also. I say I just don't watch a lot of YouTube now though. Which I do see the irony in that. Okay, grab some more purple. I thought you had to have a premium account to post videos. No, not at all. Also, we were around before YouTube Premium was a thing. They were just starting to introduce YouTube Red, which is what YouTube Premium used to be called. When I started, but no, you don't have to have a premium account to be a content creator. I honestly, it's one of those things. Like, I wish YouTube just weren't greedy. Like, creators should get it for free. And I'll always stand by that. I think it's ridiculous that we still have to pay for YouTube Premium. Okay. I was going to say I was going to grab a bit of that white, but it's just been engulfed into that lovely green colour, so I'll need to squeeze a wee bit more out. It will be less, though. Good morning, Patty. How are you? We cancelled Sky and paid for YouTube, saving over £40. Well, yes, I mean Sky's very expensive now, isn't it? I don't have Sky. I can't get Sky here anyway, just because of hillbilly internet, one thing and another. Rika does get a bit fed up of certain adverts on YouTube, especially the gambling ones. It's the same with anything though. I'm getting really annoyed with Amazon Prime because I pay for Prime and there's stuff that I watch and I've still got to sit through ads. And the thing that annoys me even more about Amazon Prime is there is a QR code on the screen for the product, whatever it is they're advertising. And it's so that you can scan the QR code while you're watching TV and go and put the product in your basket. That really irritates me. I'm very annoyed by that. Oh, right, we've got a bit of split paint here. Everything hurts. Join the gang, Patty. Join the gang. I am 100% with you. Just everything's tired and sore. Is there a particular reason that everything hurts, or is it just a general malaise? See, this is really running out. Obviously, this paint, apart from that little cork, shall we call it, that was in the top. I think this is really watery. Oh my goodness, it's like milk. Good grief. Right, we're going to have to squish this about a bit. We can do this. There we go. See, absolutely fine. Zero issues. I'm sorry if you can hear a bit of sort of rumbling and banging in the background. The boys are quite busy outside today, and they're going past the house in tractors and trailers. They're mucking out pens because that's the cows are all starting to go out now, especially the ones with the older babies. So it's time to clean out the poop. Are you okay, Jock? He's having a little moody about again. Oh no, we're going into our proper bed. In general, physio hurts and walked and pulled something in my right arm. Oh no. Rika's partner gets loads of ads for men and Pepto-Bismol. Oh, that's hilarious. That is funny. I like that. That kind of sums up the typical British man, doesn't it? Welcome to middle age in the UK. Have some Pepto-Bismol. Oh, that's tickled me a wee bit. Oh, goodness me. Well, I don't know whether, or I don't know how tailored the the product placement ads are on Amazon, because it seems to be a lot of adverts for flash cleaning products. I'm trying to think what else. Flash cleaning products. A lot of holiday adverts as well, like travel, like so for trains and like tour operators and stuff. But I think that's generic. I don't think it's specifically aimed at me. It's the irony, considering I hardly ever leave the house. Or, well, that's not true. I hardly ever leave the farm. And if I do, I'm going a couple of miles down the road. Okay. Starting to get a bit happier with this now. I feel like I want to bring that right up there. What? I don't want it too smooth all the same. But that's a fairly good start. I'm going to sweep in a bit more of this purple down here though. I feel like it's not dark enough down at the bottom here. And then just grab a bit of blue because why not? Because why not? This purple is sort of like, I really like this purple. I really, really like it. It's a lovely colour. And it's really nice diluted out as well, you know, when it hits a little bit of white like that. I'm kind of happy with the saturation of paint there now as well. Maybe I've made this a little bit too dark though. I mean, there is that, because it is still a path at the end of the day. We want it to be slightly more visible. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. That's satisfactory. Sanitary products and fairy liquid. Oh yeah, tampon adverts, loads of tampon adverts. If it was aimed at you, it would need to be travel insurance for injuries. One time, Jan, one time. I've travelled a lot. I've only had one injury. Yeah, you have to block them per advert on YouTube, annoyingly, where on Facebook, etc. you can block all ads from the same company. See, this is all new to me. I've never really had to worry about it before. Okay. Fairly happy with that. Right, so I now want to go back to the neat Holbein green. Wherever I put it. There we go. Oh no, I've still got some here, look. Maybe we can do something with that. I think I'll just stick with this Hemi brush. Probably gonna have to get, where's my, I've got my jar of clean water here, but I don't have anything to put it in. Excuse me while I hobble over for a clean cup. Would your dad ever come to live at the farm with you and your hubby? I don't know the answer to that now, honestly. When my mum was alive, I would have said yes. Things are different now, and I think he's still figuring a lot of stuff out, and what he wants out of life has changed now, or it is starting to change. So honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I think he's just going through a period of adjustment. I heard that is meat Holbein green. When someone see if you say meat green, it makes me think of rancid meat, like off meat. Ugh. Ugh. Right, okay, clean water. Thank you. I'm gonna try and rescue this. Did it? I'll just put it over this side. Again, same sort of idea here. And this is just really following, you know, if you were oil painting, you go fat over lean. So first couple of layers, we do want it to be quite watery. And that is exactly what we're going to do. So I'll just overlap that very slightly just now. We'll figure out what we're doing. I'll probably make this. Let's just do it. Why not? Let's just make a sort of rough edge here. There we go. And we'll just slap this down. That is still very, very opaque, all things considered. Now, I'll probably take this off all the way to the side. There will be trees and things going in front of that, but just for continuity and the fact that we know it's there. We all know it's there. A new shade of offensive green. That's what we could call it. Julie and I could create a paint colour and we can call it offensive green. That's a great idea, Cal. I'm gonna pitch that one to Julia next time I'm speaking to her. Kind of looks like the water's edge there. I'm at risk of this looking like a river now, aren't I? Oh, we'll fix it. It's okay. Don't panic yet. That was the tiniest splodge of this paint as well. I'm so impressed with this. I really like this paint. I'll maybe keep adding to it. Like it's very very pleasant to use. When I run out of something, I might just start sort of replacing them with this. Are there any other artists on YouTube that you like to watch? Honestly, I don't tend to watch on YouTube. There's a chap called Kevin Drake, who sort of got internet famous because he spent like 1 billion years drawing a lettuce. He's a very, very talented pencil artist. I love sitting watching him. He's in the States and he live streams really, really late at night here. There, so it's very early in the morning here, and most of you know I am an early bird. So I quite like catching his lives. He's usually live. It's usually on TikTok I see it, but I think he's live on other platforms as well. So I follow him on YouTube. I can't think of anyone by name. I can explain to you who they are. Hello, Daria. What's the Swedish for offensive? Oh, I don't know. That's a good point. Need to look that one up, Jan. So do you want this paint to have the Swedish name then? Well, I suppose Nat was obviously a Swedish name. Nat is the Swedish word for night, as in nighttime, night sky, not as in medieval night. I wanted to give a paint. Julie and I were talking about paint names at one point, and I want her to give one of her paints like a broad Scots name, like Sugly or something offensive according to Google. Well, there you go then. You've got to overpronounce all your vowels though, so I assume it would be something like offensive. I've found that trying to get Swedish pronunciation correct, if you sort of get into a mode where every time you speak, it's kind of like if you feel really sick and it's that sort of way that your mouth goes just before you're about to retch, that's good use of vowels in Swedish. Would you ever consider doing artist vlogs more like Julia does? I think it would be to see the farm. Now, I mean, I've talked about this on and off. I'm not really interested in displaying other aspects of my life. I'm surprisingly quite a private person. I don't mind doing them occasionally, but I'm really not that into it, honestly. It's just not for me. And I did as well, when we had the memberships, for the very short time we did the memberships, I did a bit of vlogging. But again, it's one of those things, it's just this constant presence of having to record things, having your phone with you all the time. And I was rubbish at vlogging because I was like, oh, I really should have filmed that. And it's quite intrusive on your life as well, like just from the point of view when you're going about your business. If I'm out helping in the shed, the last thing I'm thinking about is getting my phone out and filming something, especially because my hands are usually covered in substances that you don't need to know about. So no, the answer to that is no, I wouldn't go down that route. It's not really my thing. This is being able to paint and draw. It's a bit of respite for me, and it's a way because that I'm surrounded by the farm all the time. Like, it takes over your life, and it's not. And this is the thing, you know, people say, oh, like Mr. Jem's a farmer, that's his job, but living on a farm and having a spouse that's a farmer, there isn't a defined line there. It's a lifestyle. It is a way of life, and you get sucked into it whether you like it or not. So and I prefer to keep that stuff kind of a bit more private. I say people are surprised though, because I'm quite an outgoing person, quite a chatty person. It doesn't necessarily mean that I want to share every aspect with a load of internet strangers, which I'm sure you can appreciate. I mean, I do share bits and bobs here and there. Right, I'm going to start to make like a grass line here, I think. Trying to find out where to anchor my finger. Oh, there we go. Very grassy. I can zoom in a little bit on that. Let me just okay, so Cal's just pointed out the word for meat in Swedish, which I already know, and it's spelled K-O with the little dots above it, which I don't know what they're called in Swedish either. T-T. That is pronounced shit. There is no K. Shit. Which sounds remarkably like... Gotta love a bit of Swedish. Love me some Swedish. Hi Martine, how you doing? It would be perfect to write. My favourite phrase that I've learned in Swedish is dra mig baklång, which means pull me backwards. So like we would say like knock me down with a feather. That's my favourite one. I like that very much. Very descriptive. They have a lot of sayings that are related to potatoes as well, which I find quite interesting. There's a lot of sayings involving potatoes. So some make more sense than others when translated. Some don't make any sense at all, but they're very fun. And also in Swedish as well, I've noticed when Julia hasn't taught me it, but when we talk about like crossing your fingers, she says to me, hold your thumbs, you know, like, I'm assuming it's the same thing and it's just the direct translation from Swedish, but she talks about holding your thumbs a lot. It's quite interesting. Look how nice my little grassy bit is here. Screen. How do they do the accent when you're writing cursive? You just plonk them in. You literally just stick them in. It's just two wee dots. You can angle them slightly if you want. I don't think it would make any difference. Hi Thea. Oh yeah, I pinkered her hand. Just in from art club. What were you doing today, Martine? I'm always interested. This is a bit like asking Ulrika what she's making for dinner. I like to know what Martine's done in done a art club. Oh, I don't really want to cover up this mossy bit because it's cute. Oh no. I think that's the first time I've ever used that sentence in my life. Since when has moss ever been cute? Well, it is now. And I am just going to continue on my merry way down here. Still life of Art Deco glassware. Ooh, loaded it into the Discord already. Okay, I'll check it out after the stream. Thank you. See, I really just don't have a lot of time to art just now, so I'm basically like living vicariously through everyone else. Moss is fluffy, so it's cute. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll take it. Classical cursive is meant to be continuous, so I get the confusion over the accents. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. I can't say, I mean, my handwriting is cursive. It's not classical cursive per se, but I would still like dot my I's and my J's, so, you know, you lift off to do that, so same thing. In Swedish though, you only either have the two dots or the little circle, so it looks like a tiny O above the letter. That's the only accents they have. And that's how you can tell the difference between some of the Scandinavian languages, because the Norwegians have an O with a line through it. I think the Danes use that as well. The Swedish do not use that. I don't even know what it's called. pigeon just flew into my window and damn near gave me a heart attack. And now you've got a big greasy pigeon print on your window. I know that well. For the few of you that aren't in the Discord, I left the windows in the cave open at the weekend. It was very warm and I just wanted some fresh air in. So I'd come out of the room and shut the door, like, into the hallway, like into the corridor. And I came back in for something and there was this little female chaffinch and she was just like chilling out, sitting on top of the arm for this overhead camera, like just minding her own business. And I was like, well, hello. And yeah, so I sat down to do stuff and she sat there for about half an hour and then she started kind of like hopping around. So like she made her way from here all the way around to the window that's behind me. And obviously the window's still open and she just hopped back out onto the windowsill and went on her merry way. And I was like, well, okay then. So I had to have a good hunt about because I had to find all the bird poop because you don't have a bird, like a wild bird visitor for that long without there being poop. And she pooped on my my new monitor that I've only had for a couple of weeks from work. So I had to clean it all up. But yeah, that was a bit strange. And when I was getting this stuff out today, I found a sunflower seed on the shelf, like just over there. So I don't know whether she brought it in with her, but it was like tucked in behind everything. And I was like, right, okay. It's so random. Jan's got the wine out. You go, Jan. I see that you took my advice and then added some more minutes just for good measure. She left me many presents, Cal. Very cute though. But I mean, I got to the point where I was like, you're gonna have to leave, and I kind of like gave her a prod, so like I like poked her in the, like the floofy bit of her chest, and she just kind of like fluffed her feathers up and looked at me. She didn't actually move, and I was like, oh, you're a bit more tame than I thought you were going to be. I expected the minute I put my hand towards her, she would either try and nip me with her little beak or she would move, and she was like, no, I'm good here. And it's the way that like she kept looking at me like cocking her little head. I was like, oh, okay, well, okay. So I checked outside to make sure there was nothing, like maybe predatory about that, might have been like biffing her out a wee bit or whatever. But all the other wee birdies were just going about their business the way they normally do. So I don't know what that was all about. Or maybe she came in and tried to get out and didn't think she could get back out, so decided just to chill. I don't know. But anyway, it was very pleasant, and we cohabited. Yeah, we're quite happy in each other's company for about half an hour. And then she decided to make a move eventually. All right, okay, I see you. Small birdie. Okay, let's come here. I'll make sure I don't interfere with my cute moss because I like it. My writing was described as readable, and I thought that was a compliment, but apparently it was a criticism. Yeah, legible, also an insult. Yeah, it's like the bottom rung of acceptable, isn't it? Got a little pink bit here that I really need to cover up. The pink looks lovely though, but it's just a bit out of place there. Do. This is a great wee brush. Again, this is just one of my wee sea white brushes. This is the size 0, so this is the weeniest of the synthetic rounds you can get from them. Absolute, but I don't actually know how much I charge for these brushes. It's not very much. I think it's like £1.20 or something. Anybody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never put my prices up, so yeah, anyway. I should probably do that at some point. Okay. So just putting down that flat colour has changed the composition dramatically, and that's exactly what we wanted. So that was kind of, I just wanted to accomplish something, and that was kind of what I had in my head, was this triangle. Before I start moving on to the detail in this part here, I need to finish working on this sort of mid-ground. So we're really into details and things now in this middle part, which includes any tree trunks and things that we want to put to put in. So just because I've got this green on the go, I want to start putting in something like a little bit more interesting. I also need to put a handle on the green door. I thought I'd put that on manual focus. But what I think I would like to do is have a snaky vine going up there. Not sneaky, but snaky. Again, I had that in the other picture, but it's, you know, it was kind of like off to the side and it's just kind of merging in with everything. That's going to be quite prominent there. And again, I can work on putting a bit more colour, you know, lighter colour on this top part that's peeking over, because the little bit of the light's going to hit that. You like it from afar. Accosted by a seagull, that's never fun. That seems to be a universal thing as well. Like, that's just the perfect little brush for doing that. Look at this perfect little leaf. How cute is that? Going through the Tim Hortons drive-through by the lake is an experience with seagulls. They land in your car waiting for the food. Good grief. So like they're accosting your food before it even gets to you. Just got the YouTube notification to say that you're live. Yeah. Pigeons at London train station. I'd say you missed it earlier, Thea. I got a notification through in my watch from Discord that my live stream event was happening, so at least something's efficient. See, I wonder why I never have any viewers. Lunchtime entertainment. So do you just park up and watch everyone go through for the shits and giggles of it, Patty? That's hilarious. I'm getting the feeling here that this vine is almost too pretty to be in this picture. That never happened. Look how pretty it is. It's going to be even prettier by the time I'm finished with it. You've seen seagull insurance at some beaches in Norfolk. Paint's starting to dry up a little bit. Come on now. I feel like there should be one in there as well. Maybe a littler one. Tiny one. A seagull flying off with a chihuahua. Well, I mean, they are tiny and sort of rat-like, aren't they? Our landowner here, he has a Jack Russell Chihuahua cross, and I have to say she's way more Jack Russell than she is Chihuahua. Like, you wouldn't know that she was Chihuahua until it's pointed out to you, but when it is pointed out to you, you're like, oh yeah, I can see it a little bit. And weirdly, she is the most chilled out dog I've ever met. Those two breeds to me don't scream chill. And she's just the coolest little dog. She's lovely, and she's very friendly as well. She always comes to say hello. Are you talking about the seagulls or the chihuahuas, Cal? I'm personally not a fan. Would rather not have one. Chihuahuas that or seagulls for that matter. Actually, I'm going to bring this grass all the way across. I don't know why that was a thing. I don't really know how that happened. Honestly, I think I just got carried away with that purple paint there. Honestly, but I feel like that should be like there. Let's make it there. So again, great, can adjust things as I go. Much better. Sadly, a coyote, yeah. We just don't have any big predators like that here. Well, not enough to worry about them, put it that way. Although I tell you what, you don't want to mess with a badger. Oh! You're Jackawawa. Jackawawa. A Jackawawa. I just can't. Okay. And I think what we'll do is, I'm enjoying this colour far, far too much. And actually at this point it is just like a base layer for things. I think we should have some bigger frondy, grassy thingamadiddlers here. Again, not really sure what I'm doing with trees and stuff, so I'm just going to whack stuff in for fun. Because we can. And see, I think I mentioned this last time, but this is why, like, I get so much enjoyment out of doing these sort of slightly fantasy landscapes, because I love having the freedom just to kind of make things up if I want to. But I know that, again, I mean, this is a place that I walk past every day. I always take my dogs round that part at some point during the day. So, I mean, I've been here nearly 3 years now. Can you believe that? The 3 years in this cave. You know, it's a very familiar site to me, so I'm quite comfortable playing about with it. But also, every time you walk past, especially at this time of year when everything's growing, you see something that wasn't there like a couple of days before. And, you know, quite often that comes back in just from your subconscious. It just kind of wanders in. You're like, yeah, I'll stick that in the picture because, yeah, okay. I feel like I want some sort of shrub as well. And again, I feel like it should be in green. In the previous picture, I had some sort of like, I don't even know what that is, but I think it was supposed to be greenery, and I did it in the purple. But I feel here that if I block something in, I can maybe put something in a purple, like in behind it. And then again, I can catch that light source. But I don't know what this shape wants to look like, so I'm going to stick that in first. What if we had maybe something with like wibbly wobbly branches, like, oh, like maybe like a sort of gnarly, I don't know, like overgrown type tree, bush, planty thingamadiddler. Maybe not think too much about it and just put it in and see what happens. Once again, why? Because we can. Ooh. And that's the noise that you make when you're putting in these type of branches. It's, oh. Someone else commented on my sound effects for things, and I instantly said that Ulrika likes to remind me that I've got sound effects for things. It just makes it go better though, like it does. It needs a murder tree, yes. Yes, it does, Minnie. Do you know what? I'll put a murder tree in. I don't even know what kind of shape I want this to be. Like at the top here, I mean, like, does it come to a point? I don't know. It's just a wibbly wobbly bush. You like the sound effects? All the murder trees. I have a noise as well that I make. See, just when I'm like going round the house doing whatever it is I'm doing. And again, it's something that I wasn't aware of. And one of the things that point to the neurospiciness, I make this pop sound with my mouth. And it's just when I'm like, I could be opening a drawer or like lifting out a fork or closing a cupboard door. And I make just like that noise. And apparently I do that quite a lot, and I was not aware that I do that. And I said that to Mr. Jem. I was like, oh my God, is it annoying? And he's like, no, you don't do it all the time. He said, but you just do it at random. Like, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason for it, but you do, that's like your thing. And I'm like, oh, that's so weird, because I had no idea I was doing it. But I've noticed now that I do it, it's almost like a comfort thing as well. Like sometimes I do it as like a, I don't know, my like self-soothing. but I'm aware of it now because it's been pointed out to me. Mr. Jem's annoyed though because he can't make that noise with his mouth. Murder cheese should sound like oh. Right, now see, Mary gets final say in this because murder trees they're hers. They belong like copyright Mary. But the problem with this is I don't know until I start painting them because the noise just comes out as I'm doing it. So you'll have to wait. We'll figure it out. My, what a fine bush we are creating here. Ah. Sharp and staccato creaks. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I can't believe we're discussing the sound effects for a murder tree. There is, like, I always felt like that one there, like, obviously it's not got all its boughs, but I feel like that was a murder tree. Like, it's a murder tree in spirit, and if it was full size, there would definitely have been a murder tree. Yeah, Jan wore her murder tree socks when she came to visit me in Edinburgh. She wore them specifically so that we could take a photo of them and put them on the Discord. Which we did. Jan was baring her ankles to us all, you know. That made me laugh a lot. Like, that was funny. That was really, really funny. Oh, there we go. You don't get much better than an unkempt bush. I know. See Jan flashing her ankles at me. What more could you want of a random day in January? I don't do that for just anyone. That's hilarious. Right, guys, I'm going to take a wee break here. I give that time to dry. I'm very pleased with that. Like, I'm glad I decided to put that in. Someone's knocking as well. Right, I'll be back just shortly, guys. Feel free to talk about food and we can go from there. Just reading through all the, like, what's everyone having for tea? Ulrika's making hash for tomorrow with the leftovers. The leftovers from what? Corned beef sandwich. Oh, like, you know, that's something that's just not in my wheelhouse, I'm afraid. The good news is the knock at the door was the delivery man with my sea white order. So the aforementioned Molotov pens are here. I'm just going to open this up and make sure that everything's here. Mostly sketchbooks. Oh. Sorry, I'm exposing my dead ear to you all there. Ooh. Oh yeah, how exciting. Oh, do love a good parcel. Right, let's pop that. Do the rest of that later. Ah, yeah, so I've got the... Oh, they come in these little cute boxes as well. This is so nice. So yeah, these are the masking pens I was talking about. See, I use these specifically. I absolutely hate the smell of masking fluid. It gives me the absolute vomit. And I like this because it's blue. So when you're working on white paper, you can see where you've put it down. So yeah, these are going to be available in the stash shop really soon. I'll probably have them in by the weekend, I would think. I'm going to work really hard the next few days to get everything set up. As I say, Papa Gem's coming next week, and I want space. I need like mental space just to process what's going on just now. I think I'll be okay. Like, I don't think it's going to be this like big terrible thing, but you know, it's just one of those things you've got to get through and support Papa Gem as much as I can. It was really satisfying shaking that. Yeah, so I'll stick them in the stash shop for you. I'm not even sure what the retail price is going to be yet. I can't tell you that right now. But I've also got these little concertina sketchbooks. So some of you might remember my book of pasta. These are these sketchbooks, and I wanted these specifically because they've got the little sleeves, so the sketchbook slides into the sleeve. Let me get my book of pasta and I'll show you. Yeah, so they look like this. I'll just zoom out a wee bit so that you can see what's going on. And then obviously your concertina, whichever way. Where the hell's the starter? There we go. Mine goes this way. So I'm using it in this format, and then obviously we'll end up going the other way. So they're really nice. It is watercolor paper. It's really good quality paper. I've only gotten a few of these because I don't know how well they're going to sell. Generally speaking, the best selling things in the stash shop are stickers and sketchbooks. That's what I sell most of. And I think it's nice to have a wee bit of variety, and I am very, very confident in the quality of Sea White's paper in general. I would recommend Sea White paper to anyone. The price that you pay for it, you get very, very good quality paper for the cost of it. So I just thought that would be really nice. And also as well, the nice thing about these, I mean, they're not maybe entirely practical as a day-to-day sketchbook, but if you want to display things as well, you know, you can stack them out and stand them up, or you can stretch the whole thing out if that's what you want. So maybe not something you would use every day, but I don't think they're gimmicky. I think that they do have uses. Great for a project book as well, because it's not hundreds and hundreds of pages. So if you wanted to, for example, obviously mine's pasta, but if you wanted to draw maybe or do a study on something like birds, great for this, and say very handy. It stops the edges getting all bashed as well, because you can just slip it into its wee holster and that's it. So I always get quite excited about having new products, you know, something that I maybe want to stock regularly. While it's nice to provide the used art supplies, which I think is a really important part of having the stash shop, because it was the whole point in the first place, it's nice to know that you can go and get something and it will 9 times out of 10 be in stock, you know, and you know it's going to be there. So I'm hoping that these sell fairly well. But if these take off, I will make them a permanent fixture, but that's just one of those ones where we'll just have to wait and see. So, you know, great for continue. Yeah, if you want like a massive vista. Ulrika loves the Sea White paper. Yeah, so this, let me just read what this said. I don't have my glasses aren't even in the cave. 140 GSM sheets that are like, it's two sheets together. 38 possible working surfaces. Fantastic for display. Fantastic for display. So yeah, really good. So I suppose you can say 280. But yeah, I like it very much. Like, thumbs up, 10 out of 10 for Sea White paper. We love Sea White. Would be one for chronicling a learning journey. Yeah. Or you could maybe do a set of like 5 and redraw them every 3 or 4 months and see like how you've improved. Wendy, ooh, I see an order in my future. Love it. Excellent. Well, you're more than welcome anytime. Yeah, I'm just looking at my wee bush here. And what I would like to do now is clean off this brush because it's manky. That would be a good start. I should really have tipped that water out while I was on a break. It does match my dragon though, so I'm not going to complain. At least we're coordinating. Yeah, so this is quite dry now, but my white is not. So I'm just literally like, it's only just on my brush no more. And I'm going to pop that in there a little bit. I only want this like a tiny shade lighter though. Maybe not that light. Like there-ish. I'll go back to my wee sea white brush. I think I'm gonna have to start getting commission from Sea White. I'm a huge fan of their products. They're a really lovely company to work with as well. Anytime I've had any issues or things go wrong, they're so helpful and their team are great. For getting back to you promptly. They really are. They're a pleasure to deal with. They really, really are. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking about because we're kind of peeking over the wall here, so there's going to be a wee bit of a lighter patch here. And honestly, I love messing about with stuff like this. Like again, I've got a thing about light anyway. And see, just farting about with stuff like that makes me really happy for no apparent reason, but easily pleased. Thinking of going to Fife in October, so that may be perfect. October's quite a good time to go. It's still quite mild, Jan, and the weather is reasonably dry. It's funny when I do a build on The Sims 4, I always put a sink in the art room. Well, that was one of the things I loved. See the old cave. There was two doors in the old cave, so where the desk was, there was a door immediately to the left which took you into basically the biggest part of the house, but there was a door in the back right corner and that just led to a hallway. So Mr. Jem's farm office was directly across from mine and there was a little toilet in the middle, so for washing brushes and stuff I just used the sink in that little toilet because we didn't really use it for much anyway, and it was perfect. In this house we have two toilets and both of them are the opposite end to the house to where I am just now, so it's really annoying. So yeah, I would love to have that back too. Hello Cakes, thanks for coming and joining us. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say. I was just saying how pleased I am with my weird little bush that I decided to put in just for fun. It looks like a punk Dalek. A stressed Dalek. That's even better. Well, I mean, why not? Why not? I feel like we're coming on a bit now. I feel like we're definitely getting there. I'm gonna have to do something about putting a knob in. Good grief. I think I'm just gonna go for this almost black colour. The handle on the original door stroke gate, it is one of the old sort of old fashioned like big cast iron knobs, and it's really wobbly. Like it's because again this in real life it's decaying, it's rotten. The wall is starting to crumble and lean on this side. It's a kind of a jaunty angle towards you when you head up here, and it's at the knob's actually on this side. I don't know why I want it on this side, but I think we'll pop that in just now, and again we can make it a little bit more interesting as we go along, but I just want to establish that as a form on the painting, as it were. Like, it's a thing. And again, I had the same problem, and you'll see I ended up going round it with a little bit of white just so that it stood out. I'm going to do the same thing again, but I'm going to make it look more like with people putting their hand on it and the paint's kind of like worn off either side. So I'm going to take a little bit more time over that as a detail, but I mean that is a tiny, tiny detail that it's really neither here nor there. But at least we can see that there's a knob on it now. That's very important. Very important that you know where your knob is. Do you think the path should have some paving lines on it a bit? No, I've got way more to do, Jan. I'm not working on that section yet. Again, if you look here, I had like moss and things on it. Again, in real life, that's just a dirt track. So the same thing will be happening here. Thanks, I just spat my drink. Can't be a good knob joke, No, this is, we're not touching this yet. That was just the basis to start working on. It looks kind of pretty though, doesn't it? It's a very valid point though, Jan. And again, it's nice, and like when we're all in the chat together, for anyone that does something like this, that is a very valid point to bring up. I don't take it as a criticism at all. And it's something to look out for. Like, obviously I know in my head what I'm doing. That doesn't mean that I've vocalized it to you and you know what I'm doing. Like, you don't have a crystal ball. But yeah, like, I can't tell you how much happier I am with how this is progressing, because I was so dissatisfied with the original painting. I really, really was. I was almost at that point where I was a bit disappointed in myself. And it's purely just patience and the supplies. And I mean, a poor workman blames their tools, but I was so frustrated. And the frustration teamed with being on a time scale is what caused the problem. Let's just highlight that there. Oh, oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's what I say to, that's what I say to Pip. I've got a weird thing about dogs having gunky eyes, you know, like having sleep in their eyes or eye snot or whatever you want to call it. Because my original dog Mist, before she had her eye out, she had a lot of discharge, and we were constantly having to clean it. So I don't like seeing a dog with like dirty eyes. So when Pip's got eyes like that, I say to her, "Come and let me fix your eyes," and I do this with my fingers, and she comes towards me and she just puts her head like next to my hands and closes her eyes. So I rub her eyes for her, and then when I'm finished, I go, "Let me see, beautiful," and then she starts wagging her tail and everything's wonderful. But the problem is I do that with every dog I meet. And do you know that way I'm already doing it before I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't my dog, maybe that's not appropriate. Cal finds she does better when she thinks less, otherwise being my own head, but it all really messes things up. Ulrika never has a plan when she's painting. Well, but this is the thing, like this is kind of like a halfway house for me, because when I did this, and I say it all the time, I like to fly by the seat of my pants, and I very rarely have any sort of sketch or anything. But this is a more structured approach in that I don't want it to turn out like the last one, and that was kind of the whole point of like redoing it. So that's, you know, how we've ended up where we are, which is good. And I think it's important. Well, for me, I mean, I say this to people all the time. The number of people that I speak to that are like, "Oh, you know, I'm too scared to do this in case I mess it up," and I'm always like, I literally post my mistakes on the internet, like, and I make money doing it. And you know, if I can do that, you've got to kind of like put it into perspective. If you're making art, and especially if you're on a learning curve, whether that's because you're a beginner or you're trying something you haven't tried before, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're unhappy with it. And if you really, really hate it, you can put it in the bin. No one needs to see it. In my experience, though, it is better to see something through, even if you think it's horrific and it doesn't turn out the way you want it, or it looks really amateurish or whatever, because the process that you go through to do that, you try to fix it, you learn things from that, and it might not be the right thing that you learn, but you know what not to do next time, and that in itself is a really valuable process. And I for one have never ever thrown an artwork in the bin. I've never done it. I've hidden things away in folders, but I've never actually like crunched up a piece of art and thrown it away, other than something that's been water damaged, which happened with this. Not this one, obviously, but I tried, and yeah, anyway. So that, you know, there's a lot to be gleaned from that, I feel, and I think people are very self-critical. But I mean, I've got a whole sketchbook of absolutely terrible, terrible drawings, and I'm talking pencil drawings. Now, bearing in mind, like, graphite and pencil's my thing, and I wouldn't want anyone to see them, and I wouldn't want to show them to anyone because I think it's substandard. Does that mean that I shouldn't have done it? No, of course it doesn't. And I did it anyway, because you're only going to learn by sort of trying, persevering and making mistakes. Like, we learn the most from our mistakes. So I get kind of arsey with people when they're like, "Oh, I wish I could do that, but I'm rubbish." I'm like, shut up, just go and do it. just go and do it. And there's a lot to be said for it. There really, really is. I've definitely learned more from mistakes than I have from painting something I'm really happy with first time. Like, I mean, come on, let's be realistic. And sometimes you can surprise yourself. Exactly, Ulrika. A really, really good example of that, and this is from way, way, way back. I had one of my scroller challenges featured in the magazine, you know, in the nice gallery page that they do, and it was, I think it was like watercolor powders or ink powders or something, and it was a leaf. And I went into that, I was like, oh my god, this is not my thing. And it turned out really, really well. And I'm still very pleased with it. I'm still got it somewhere like the original, I think. Well, again, I'm not scared of it. I've told you guys a million times, like, my sketchbooks are awful. There's nothing exciting or groundbreaking in there. But there's a lot of good things that stem from things that you're not happy with. Like, all the time. Right, here's a dilemma. On top of this gate here, I had like a little bit of like mossiness. It's very uniform though, again, stuck with the brush. I think on not every plank, maybe just one or two that I could maybe get away with. Like maybe there's been some moss festering in here. Right, we're going to have to go lighter, so I'll mix this. Again, I want to have like minimal paint on my brush for this though. Maybe it's creeping down. Oh, yeah. This is what I mean by like farting about with little details. Like you just, when you're filming a scroller challenge, or when I'm filming videos in generally, I'm on a very, very tight time scale. And I just don't get time to fart about with things like that. And it's completely inconsequential to the majority of the picture. But that's where I derive my pleasure from in these situations. Because I like to use a teeny tiny brush as well. Because it's akin to a pencil tip. But this is where the pleasure comes for me in doing stuff like this. And I mean, granted, and you see it all the time, especially on Instagram, the rate that very accomplished artists spit out high quality artwork, like they're firing stuff out, like boom, 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 boom. That's never going to happen for me. Number one, because I've got a proper job. Number two, I live on a farm. Number three, I've got other stuff I like to do as well. I am never going to produce works of art that I'm happy with and or are good quality, because those two things aren't mutually exclusive, but I'm never going to be able to do that at a high rate, and I am very at peace with that. I would rather have fun and, you know, spend 4 WIP Wednesdays doing this and be super happy with it, than try and spit out like this massive volume of artwork just for the sake of doing it. So it's the old kind of like quality over quantity thing, I think. And again, that's something that to begin with, I was really unhappy about the rate that I was doing things at. And as time's gone on, I'm like, nah. If I only spit out one finished artwork a month, do you know what? That's fine. Unless it's a commission, of course. That's a bit different, because you're you're kind of time bound by those things. But for stuff like this, I would rather I was like super happy with it, and it took like 3 months, than spitting it out in 2 hours and being really dissatisfied. And then that Eureka makes a good point as well. If you're not happy with something, you can always cut it up and use it for something else. Well, I mean, these things ebb and flow as well. I was talking to someone about reading, and I am an avid reader. Before I moved here, so 3 years ago, I used to average a book a week. Now it's more like a book a month. And the only person that's going to put pressure on me to read that volume of books is me. There's no need for it. And this is, you know, like, this is no different. Yes, I've got the YouTube channel, and if I want to increase my subscribers and increase my views and make more money, yes, I should be putting out content more frequently than I am, but it's just not that important. I would rather enjoy it. The minute this becomes a chore and feels like a job, it makes me not want to do it anymore, and it takes all the pleasure out of it, and I am never going down that road. I've managed it for 8 years, I'm not stopping now. And if it means that I get kicked in the teeth by the YouTube algorithm, then so be it. I I am not, no one is taking my fun away from me when it comes to arting. I'm really, really happy with this side. Thea's got phases where she reads a lot of books. Yeah. Well, the only time I read, unless I've got a day entirely to myself and the house is quiet, which is never, that would be the only time I would read during the daytime. I read when I go into bed at night, and it's usually because I'm not tired enough to go to sleep, and reading makes me sleepy. Some nights it can be one paragraph, and sometimes it's like 4 chapters. It just depends. So I just kind of like go with the flow with that. Patty has a problem watching someone who produces perfect artwork without showing the true struggles before it got to the perfect stage. Well, I mean, again, I think that's not necessarily a fault of an artist. I think that is the general way society has made things because of social media and all the rest of it. Because I wish, like, see when I put out my scroller challenge videos, I would love to just film it start to finish and just put the whole thing up as a video. But the reality is, it would be about 4 hours long, and a lot of it's going is me going, oh shit, that's not right. Like, and that's just not, people don't have the attention span, nor are they interested, and quite rightly so, because everyone's time's precious. But I do think it's important to show that even for my stage of arting, which is nowhere near the professional level of some that you see with big followings on YouTube, they still go through the same steps. They're probably just slightly less frequent and more efficient when they're dealing with it than I am. So, and I think it's really important for people, especially hobby artists, because I still consider myself a hobby artist for the most part. You know, and this is the way that it is. And us slogging away for 2 hours on a Wednesday on a painting that's been on the go for weeks and weeks, this is the reality of it. And I'm quite happy for it to stay that way, to be perfectly honest. It's your office mate. Nice one, Jan. Love it. Okay, right. I'm really happy with this side now, and I'm going to leave it alone. The wall and the bush, the Dalek bush, they're fine. On this side, again, just kind of like referring back to what I had before, you can see there's a big dark purpley indigo-y tree there, and then I've got even darker in front of that. I kind of want to stick to that on this side because I want to get this kind of depth perception but balance it through both sides. So I don't want something in the midground there because it's going to make it look like very symmetrical. So I'm going to start a purple tree, but I'm going to start it like here, and I'm just going to cover up that whole section, and I'm going to bring it round. And again, this is like sort of like it's almost like a vignette, so you're kind of framing the focal point, which is obviously the gate and the light behind it. Well done, YouTube. That's really, really late. That's ridiculous. Do you know what else is really funny as well? See, when I go into the YouTube dashboard, there's a little panel on the right hand side, and it gives you suggestions about how you can make like more revenue, and they've got like little workshops and stuff that they do. But the top one that comes up for me all the time is you could increase your revenue by live streaming once a week. And I'm like, really? Really? Would never have known that. It's basically the heavily edited videos that they say this only took me an hour. Well, yeah, but you know that that's lies and slander. And I tend to find there's more truthful artists than not truthful artists. But they kind of, oh, sounds really accusatory, but they lie by omission. They just don't tell you how long it took, and then they cut it down into like a short that's 3 minutes long. And that is very easy to misconstrue that, especially if you're not experienced. Right, let's think about purple. I'm going to put my weenie brush away now. It's worked hard today again. It's earned its place. So we're going to retire that over to our little dragon. I'll face it that way. I'm going to pick a slightly wider brush now. I really like a filbert brush for doing tree trunks. And this one. This is one of the King Art brushes, the King Art Gold brushes. They're quite difficult to get a hold of in the UK, but this is their short filbert, and it's a number 8, and it's just for A5. It's just perfect. Well, the other thing as well, Miri, I'm just talking about Miri's comment here about making less mistakes. Commercial artists tend to spit out a lot of similar work, so they are painting the same sort of elements over and over. So naturally, you do get quicker and make less mistakes. You guys know me; I'm all over the place with art. Like this is one of the genres that I like to paint in, but it's not the only thing that I do. That definitely plays a part, though. Cakes is always honest when speeding things up on the videos. Do it because if I didn't, my videos would be hours long. Well, yep, sames. But in lives, you can see how long it really takes. Well, that, like, everyone's here for the banter. No one's here to watch me finish an artwork, and I know that fine well. We've got our little Wednesday gang. But I'm very comfortable in this space. And if people find it boring and they don't want to watch because they're looking for progression and finished pieces, then that's fine. I totally get it. The cut down videos are hilarious when they jump from step 1 to step 25 with all the bits in between. Right, okay, so what I'm kind of tempted just to stick with this raw purple, like as in not mix it or anything like that. Oh, I might pop a weenie. That was far too much. Goodness me, that was a hand anomaly there. What I think I would like to do is grab that indigo, wherever I left it. Yeah, the Winsor & Newton indigo. Oh, I've still got some. I don't need to squeeze any. I've still got some down here that's still wet. Love it when that happens. I'm going to clean off this manky brush. This was the original Hemi brush that I was going to use for mixing. Oh, it says very dirty. Very, very dirty. I'm not doing this on purpose, but now the water is like almost cave turquoise. Like, where's the It's a Pencil because I think it... Oh, I need to put a bit more blue in it. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay. Yeah, so I kind of want to just... I want it to be purple, but I want it to be like off purple. I don't know what that means. Let's just grab what's... Oh no, it's not. I thought that was still wet. It's... Oh, okay. Dagnamit. I'm just going to let the dirty water do it there because it's kind of the colour that I need to mix this together. Good lord. Let's go for it. Blah, 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 blah. See, that's the noise that makes. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Jock's starting to snore. I don't have a jockey cam set up today. He's now down in his orthopaedic bed, but he's starting to make noises. That's actually a really pretty shade of blue. Right, let's start. The origin of that tree trunk is going to be there. I love doing this, like, just because there's that thrill of you might absolutely balls it up. So much fun. Oh, love to live dangerously. Could you tell I was a rebel when I was a youngster? Right, so let's bring that to like there and then let's start splitting off. So maybe that just buggers off the side of the image there, and then we can take this one. I really don't want to obscure this pretty part though, because it's a fairly pretty tree. It looks a bit like broccoli, but it's a pretty tree. Wow, that's so nice. Hi Snow, how you doing? Excuse me. Right, okay, so I really don't want to obscure the Dalek bush, but I'll start that one just in front of the wall. It can be kind of like a just out of shot tree. So there is actually a layer of tape there because I've had to double tape this because we've been at this for so long and it keeps unfurling. So I'm just past the tape line where my brush is just now. So let's make that, say, a slightly off to the side tree. Oh, this blue is so pretty. Look at this, I really like this. And let's maybe make this into a murder tree. This is going to be very similar to the original painting. So I had two sort of main bows that came out. Snowden's getting louder. So I'll use that as the starting point there. That is literally just a skeleton, like a framework, obviously. It's very straight as well. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not really into straight tree trunks, but hey. Had a shock test yesterday that was interesting. I have 2 MRIs tomorrow. So you're hanging in there, Snoo. I swear blind, I don't think there's many of us in the stream that are actually hanging the right way. I mean, I've been in pretty good shape. And then all of a sudden it's just all gone to shit recently. What can you do? What can you do? Okay, right, so I should really write down the ratios of what I used to get that colour because it's really pretty and I'm definitely going to do that again. Right, so anywho, I want to work on this tree first, so I'm going to go to this this filbert brush, kind of just like scoop up what I can of this and really work on this shape here. Now again, you can't necessarily see that, but when I start building up the paint layers on top of it, you know, using lighter colours, etc. It's really important that I've got a line to follow there because obviously the next time I do this I will have forgotten what I've been doing. So this is actually really important even though there's not much to see. I'm pretty sure you can just see that and no more. That's a proper rooty tree. It goes like this. In addition to sound effects, I do have what I call international sign language, not obviously like actual sign language, which I know a little bit of, but just gestures that you would make, like, you know, Mr. Jem's driving past in the tractor. Do you want a cup of tea? Or do you want that's alcoholic drink. That's not just a drink, that's alcoholic drink. Do you want a bevy? Yeah, lots of things like that. Jesus. So, yeah, I have gesticulations for these things as well. It's not just noises. And I can't help it. Okay, so I want a darker side up here. And I can use the side of my filbert for that. Let's get a little knobbly bobbly bit on a go. Again, I'm just trying to look, the edge of the tape is there. I mean, you can see where the paint's were, but see where that light patch is? That is actually the edge of the tape there. So let's just get a little bit more water on the go here. Maybe there's a wee branch that's just decided to piss off on its own little journey. A rogue branch. And we can work our way up here. Oh, yeah. So just the way I've mixed this, it's a little bit darker, but that's kind of good because again, we can get that light and shadow once we get further up. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of light, that finger, a bit of light coming like this way. So if we think of that as a rounded form, then that's going to work. Ooh. Texture and pattern, because why not? Well, look, I've inadvertently made a little splinter there. I'm going to keep that. Fun, fun, fun. Now, we need to make this a bit more, excuse me, we need to make this a bit more interesting as we get further up. Maybe there's another little rogue branch that wants to pop out and say, hey. Like that, maybe? And then, woo! So much fun, though. And if we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. Getting really brave now. Love it. That's a pretty good tree now. Come on, guys. Don't tell me it's not. Did you just called her Pato? Patty. Ah, that's the way the Australians would do it. They like to nickname people by adding O's to things. This is where you start to turn into murder trees. Yeah, I get it. My main inspiration and motivation for this is basically Tulgey Wood in the Disney version of Alice in Wonderland. I am totally in love with the background artwork in that film, and I was obsessed with that movie as a very, very small child. I used to call it Landa Landa because I couldn't say Alice in Wonderland. And the number of times that Mama Jem told me she was absolutely demented, because not only do I know the script by heart and I still know it to this day, but Mama Jem did as well because it was on constantly. I find it quite concerning that a toddler age child was that obsessed with such an unhinged film. But that kind of sums things up, really, doesn't it? It tells you a lot. Uh, he, but yeah, if even if you don't want to watch the whole thing, if you haven't seen it, I'm assuming our age demographic here, probably most of you will have seen it at some point. Go back and watch and look at the backgrounds, and you will see where my inspiration comes from. Oh, do you, Mary? Like that's it. It's definitely well, I always say top three Disney films. Um, and Alice in Wonderland is 100% at the top. But second and third place is tied between Sword in the Stone and Robin Hood. There's also Pinocchio as well. I love Pinocchio. Again, I'm very much into the animal familiars. So one of the reasons I love Sword in the Stone, I mean, most of it's about animals, but Archimedes is just perfect. Like he's just, I love grumpy little characters that actually don't have any harm in them. And Archimedes is he is absolutely legendary. And I mean, you can't fault Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio. And then when you get to Alice in Wonderland, I mean, you've got the Cheshire Cat. I mean, that is the definition of absolutely stark raving bonkers. Like, what more could you want? And I know he's technically not Alice's sidekick, but you see a lot more of him in that film than you do of Dinah, which is our actual cat. But I think that he's supposed to be like a Wonderland parallel of Dinah. I was reasonably impressed with Tangled. I only saw that fairly recently, like in the last 2 years or so, and it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Brave. Fox and the Hound. I haven't seen that for years, Keeks. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I think Brave's hilarious because they you know that they're really leaning into the Scottish stereotype, and I'm totally okay with stuff like that. And I love the fact that Billy Connolly's in it. He is and shall always remain. I'm not particularly patriotic as a Scottish person because I've got Italian lineage as well. Like I'm not full out like Braveheart patriotic, but Billy Connolly is just he is the apple of the Scottish people's eye, and he will never not be. And more recently, I mean, he's a fair age now, and he's struggling with health issues, and he took to painting, and his paintings are phenomenal, and it kind of shows you how his brain works. Like, if anyone was to show me a painting and say, what comedian do you think painted this? I'd be like, definitely Billy Connolly. Super, super interesting, and he's just an absolute sweetheart. He really, really is. He's one of those people that I'm going to be really sad when he's not here anymore. Big part of Scottish culture. A deeply rooted Scottish. Well, I know you've got Scottish lineage, Cal. I remember you mentioning that before. Um, The thing is, as well, though, like, we're not, see, as a nation, and I feel like the US are quite bad for, not bad, but they're really into, like, all their roots and all the rest of it. we don't really care like where you were born or whatever. If you live in Scotland and you embrace the Scottish culture, we're like, you're absolutely Scottish. And we do not gatekeep the kilt wearing. I've seen so many people like, oh, would it be like offensive if I wore a kilt? And we're like, put a kilt on, you need to experience it. And I hate all that, like I hate it. But what I also hate is when you bump into a random person and they're like, oh, like I'm 1/18th Scottish, and you're like, you're not Scottish. Stop saying that you're Scottish. That irritates me. But we're very welcoming as a nation, and we encourage people to, embrace our culture and try it out. It's fun. Weddings is a really good example of that. I encourage everyone to wear a kilt at a wedding. It doesn't matter whether you're Scottish or Irish or, like Zimbabwean. You've got to wear a kilt at least once. It's the best experience you're ever going to have at a wedding. Jim Carrey also started painting to help with his mental health. Oh, interesting. Growing up, your mum was very proud to be Irish, but none of us have ever been to Ireland. Yeah, you're American. Yeah, no, and that there's nothing wrong though. Again, if we have tourists, obviously I live near Edinburgh. There's a lot of tourists. If if someone brings up in conversation, because you go the accent, where are you from? And we can kind of guess where you're from. We're like Scottish people are pretty good with accents. Um, but there's a difference between saying, "Oh, I wanted to come to Scotland because there's like Scottish heritage, like way back." There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and no one's gonna roll their eyes at you. But it's when you get someone really enthusiastically coming up to you and saying, "Oh, I'm Scottish because my great 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 grandfather was born in Scotland." I'm like, no, you're not Scottish. Calm down. And we've kind of all got the same opinion, and the Irish and the Welsh, as far as I know, Cal will be able to vouch for this because she's Welsh. It's quite irritating when people do that. Patty's like, hey, I'm something like 58% Scottish. That's fine. But yeah, I hold a very different view from that, and I am the daughter of an immigrant, so Irish and Scottish great grandparents, everything else is English apart from one phrase. See stuff like that, none of that matters. See if you're Scottish, like no one cares about stuff like that. It's like, where were you born? Where were your parents born? Where have you grown up? And what do you do now? And we'll go from there. I think the mix is mostly Scottish, Irish, English. So can we just say like UK-ish, British Isles? That would be better because if you're Southern Ireland, then that's technically not the UK. But I mean, it's messy, it's complicated. But it's like people ask me all the time because I've chosen to keep my maiden name, which is obviously Italian. And people will say like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "I was born on the west coast of Scotland." And they're like, "Yeah, but you've got a foreign name." And I'm like, and I don't even say I'm Italian. I'm like, my dad's Italian, and they go, "Oh," and that's basically it. And we do like we've kept a lot of the Italian traditions and that kind of thing. The one that crops up most frequently is so random, but in Scotland, depending on where you are, the word for a baby's dummy varies like hugely. So Americans and maybe Canadians use the word pacifier or a passy because it pacifies the baby, it quietens them down. We can use dummy. In some places in Scotland, it's a dummy tit because it simulates a nipple, obviously, so it's a tit. We use the word chuppy, which is from the Italian and Spanish word chupetta, which is the word for a baby's dummy or like a sucker, like a lollipop, and a chuppy. And I remember thinking, and I was quite young at the time, and it came up in conversation. Like one of my friends at school, they'd had like a baby brother or sister, and I was like, oh, they've got their chuppy, and people looked at me like there was horns growing out my head, and that's when I realised that that wasn't a thing, and it was just our family, and it was an Italian thing. So there's stuff like that, but I'm not like, oh, I'm Italian, blah blah. It's just I mean, it's built in, it's part of who I am, but I'm Scottish. So there's a lot of nuance to it, but as a people, we are very encouraging of people coming and learning about our culture and embracing our culture because we are very stereotyped. Everyone's like, oh, they eat haggis and they wear kilts and they say, oh, hi, the new. No, it's not like that at all. But we've got some pretty cool shit in our tiny little country as well. And that's worth a lot more. But we don't like people coming and telling us that they're more Scottish than we are, and I'm Scottish because blah blah. No, no, you're not. If you live here and embrace the culture, you are. That's the way it works. So Mary's dad's mother was Scottish from Ayrshire, which is where I'm from. Eee. But see, like the DNA tests are fine, but they don't actually mean anything. It doesn't make you anything because it's diluted with every single generation. So, it really, really doesn't matter if you haven't tried haggis. Well, to be fair, we're not really happy about Trump saying he's Scottish either, Cal. I would also like to report that there's still people pooping in his golf holes on his golf courses on a fairly regular basis. I'd never been so proud to be Scottish. Oh, jeez. Right, I'm not descending into a Trump rant. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm keeping that opinion to myself because I realise that we have company from the US, and I'd just rather keep out of that. Well, it's very simple for me because I had two Italian grandparents, and then my dad, obviously, and on my mum's side it's Scottish, 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 Scottish. So yeah, nice and simple for me. Although, if you trace my mother's maiden name back, it's actually of Latvian origin, but again, come on. Oh, I've got a splodge. Is that on the tape? Oh, the splodge is on the tape. We're okay. I thought that was a watermark on the actual painting. I was about to get a little bit upset there. Right, let's have some funky bee branches just doing their thing. Back to my wee sea white brush here. Woo! Tree's starting to look a bit more interesting. My brother-in-law hasn't spoken to his mum since the election because she voted for him. Oh no! Oh dear. I think that's so sad that it's so polarising, but I understand why, because, this is a bit of an extreme circumstance this time. Like, I get it. I'm quite curious as well for our people that are in the US that are actually in the chat, but also the likes of Cal who has family that are connected. What did everyone think of Obama? Because quite frankly, I would have married the guy. He might not have done a tremendous, he might not have shifted, like heaven and earth as a president, but he just seems like a really decent stand-up guy that did the best that he could after the disaster that came before him. I mean, am I on my own with that? Yeah, I don't know. I've got quite strong feelings about Mr. Obama. Like, in a nice way, I mean. Hey, Green Hat, how you doing? Oh, they have a contentious relationship. Best of times, okay. I would fight Michelle for that. He's very handsome as well. I have never read his book, Mary. Would you recommend that I read his tome? So happy with this tree right now. I'm having such good fun with this tree, guys. Who ever thought that wiggly lines could make someone so content? I'ma let that disappear in behind. It's going that way. A steady aura, that's interesting. It's like when Patty's phone rings constantly during the streams. Okay, I'll maybe take a look at that. I'm just very interested. I'm also quite wary, and it might be a biased viewpoint because I see him in a positive light. But I see things put in, depicting him in a negative light, and I'm instantly suspicious about it because a lot of it just doesn't seem to fit his demeanor or his character even. But I could be incredibly misguided in that sense. But he just seemed to me to be like a really cool dude. And we like the dudes, like we're always up for a dude. Is this enough? I don't know whether just to leave this little stubby stub or just, I feel like it's not long enough. Oh, am I going to regret that? Maybe. Really happy with this tree. I feel like I need another knobbly bobbly bit here though. Like that part of the trunk was just too, it was a bit too perfect. I'm going to have to do a bit of colour correction there, but that's okay. I can cope with that. Yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that tree. Although, maybe this should flick up at the end a little bit. Oh, that was dangerous. I think the only people who badmouth him do for so political or racial reasons, well, yeah, I think that's fair. Decorum, I love that word. It just seems very poised, but at the same time not mechanical. Like you can tell that just, like, that's the person that he is. He's not putting on a front. That's just the way he is, and that's something that I respect a lot in people because I'm very much the same way. He always seemed like a good bloke. Very respected in Canada as well. I remember seeing a video on social media, it was years ago, but he was making some sort of speech or whatever, and there was a lady like standing, there was like rows of people behind him, and there was a lady standing behind her, and the reason I noticed her was she was wearing a really pretty red dress, and she started to like sway about. She was obviously going to faint, so it transpired she was pregnant and they were in the heat, and he just stopped what he was doing. Like he just stopped talking and just turned round and like kind of like held on to her and like, you know, it's going to be okay until someone could come and get her. The pregnant lady, yeah. And I just thought, you know, most people that are in a prominent position would wave for, you know, help and then just carry on with what they were doing, but he didn't do that. His back was turned to the podium and to the microphone, and he didn't give two hoots about whether that was the right thing or the wrong thing to do. He was just concerned about this, like, and you could see he literally had her by the shoulder. Like he wasn't like squeezing her, but he had her by the shoulder because she was like swaying about. And that, like, I always think like actions like that speak volumes, and you know the big like actions speak louder than words. And I you know that kind of like, I was like, oh okay, I see you. Very interesting indeed. Yeah, it's just one of those things like that's one of those things that kind of floats about my head. See, when I see all the terrible stuff in the news about Trump and the decisions and things that he's doing, you know, I always think, man, I'm like, I wonder how Obama would have done if this had been, if he'd been in this position. But then I'm like, he would have never put himself in that position, so probably wouldn't ever have to thought about it. But I find it quite interesting because he's one of the very few presidents of late that I've thought, yeah, do you know what? Not a terrible choice. Well, I think it's a bit more than that. I think that's a bit weak, to be honest. You know, I thought he did a fairly good job in old Obamacare, and he was trying. But again, once again, I've used this statement before, you can only pee with the cock that you've got. It's very difficult when you've only got the term that you've got in American politics to be president. There's only so many changes you can make. Bloody adverts. What was your advert for, Cal, just out of curiosity? Just after a previous conversation, we kind of need to know that now. So I've got a bit of a colour difference here. We're more purple than blue now, but that's okay. Again, we're going to lay it up. If I just show you again here, you can see there's purple and there's also very dark colours there, and then I added in green and blue up this side for highlights. So not really concerned if it's a mismatch, as long as it's kind of in the ballpark. So we're dark-ish. That's adequate for this time. We don't need any more than that. The orange insert nice word here. AI workplace tools. Oh, they're the pits. Have you seriously, Green Hat? Have you never heard that? You can only pee with the cock that you've got. I I thought that was like a fairly UK wide expression. No. Oh, we've got loads of them. Okay, most of them probably aren't suitable for YouTube at this time of day in a live stream. We've got loads of... I've heard some very colourful phrases for Mr. Trump. Again, I'm not going to be disrespectful. I don't like to get involved in that kind of behaviour because it's beneath me. But let's just say I don't really have a lot of respect or hold him in high regard. And if I was closer to one of his golf courses, I'd probably poop in his golf holes as well. Green hats getting adverts for weird medical devices. Can you elaborate? Yeah, exactly, Thea. Pray tell. How weird. Oh, jeez. I feel like there's this big gap here, and I'm like, oh, did I have a gap in it? But the gap wasn't there in the original. So I have to make this quite an interesting tree. Maybe this is like a gnarly branch, so it goes. See, more noises. That's like a little dead branch. However, the one thing I do want to include is this dead tree trunk. That is for sure. That's basically going in right there. So you'll still be able to see a bit of the Dalek bush. It's to do with my job, but it's about weird from prostate exam trainers. Oh. Thea's thinking some kind of... Good Lord. Oh, we've descended into debauch. I'm really interested that that's where your brain went, Thea. Good grief. What have we turned into on a Wednesday afternoon? My God. I don't know what to do with you. Look, can't take you anywhere. Or the saying goes, it can take you once, it can never take you back. Oh my goodness me. That's incredibly funny though. That and diamond rings. Oh. Yeah, but you and Mr. Hat are married now, aren't you? So that's kind of not much use to you either now. Unless you're looking for an eternity band. In which case, still relevant. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this over here. I'm just going to keep going. Started it with boobs. I never said anything. I would just like to point out I never mentioned it. It was implied and you picked it up and ran with it. So don't you try that with me, Cal. I didn't actually say anything about the female bust. I learned a few things watching Graham Norton. You can drill for the shiny. But see, unfortunately, normally I've got two of these and my engagement ring fits in between. I've got no idea how much cow poop's actually wedged in there. It could probably do with a clean, but I'm not really that bothered, honestly. I didn't wear it for ages because my fingers were dead swollen, and it was almost like digging into me. And I've just like popped it back on, but that's definitely like a walking health hazard, and I know it. I think I'm just like, I'm at the point where I'm immune to everything like that. I wouldn't suggest anyone else going down that route at all, though. Absolutely. And my engagement ring is absolutely beautiful and I never wear it. Never wear it because it's like being encumbered. I think as well though, being left-handed, it gets caught a lot because the stone sits proud, like it's kind of like up on a shoulder, and I catch it on everything, and it's just not worth it. The only time I wear my engagement ring is like, see if we're going to like someone else's wedding or like maybe like a fancy dinner, I'll wear it then. But apart from that, like it literally just sits in the box, and I couldn't give a rat's ass about it, honestly. But then I'm not that bothered about stuff like that. I mean, I'll still look at, I can admire a nice diamond ring and be like, oh, that's pretty. But that's literally as far as it goes. Kind of always been like that though. I am planning. I've actually got Mama Gem's engagement ring, which is a row of bigger stones. I think it's five. And I actually want to like take that to pieces and get it resized because Mama Gem's fingers are a lot bigger than mine. And I actually have that instead, and I would wear it all the time because the stones sit in a row, like, you know, there's nothing sitting proud. And I would actually wear that more than my actual engagement ring, which I never wear. But I've just that's not a thing that I've kind of got round to yet. That might be a wee while before I do something about it. Not really sure. I'm not really happy about that. I think I might have to like fix that with some foliage. You'll see. I kind of want like a broader. Right, okay, I think that might be enough for today. Quite happy with that. Mary had a platinum and small diamond engagement ring. I sold it as soon as the divorce finalised. Are we talking about rings? Oh, good lord. Oh, you guys are hilarious. You gotta love these Wednesday streams. Jeez. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I've been quite productive today, all things considered. Yeah, it's nice to have like a chilled out afternoon and just sort of get away from my my sort of daily drudgery just now because it is a lot. Like I don't try and hide it. Like just now is really hard, and I don't have a lot of time to do the things that I enjoy. I've hardly played any video games at all, and I play video games every day. And I just don't have time for it. I don't have the mental capacity for it a lot of the time as well. But the time in the evening when I've cooked dinner, even if it's just for myself, but then had something ready for Mr. Jem later on, my dogs get fed at 9 o'clock, and by the time I've done that, that's when, you know, like that's like my jobs are done for the day. I don't want to do anything at 9 o'clock at night. I want to go to bed. So having this time in like on a Wednesday afternoon is really important to me just now because it might be the only time I get to sit and have a crack about Barack Obama and rings and knobs. But also actually do a bit of painting as well. So yeah, it's, you know, and it cheers me up. Like I'm much cheerier than I was this morning. So, you know, it's all good. I was about to say good clean fun, maybe not entirely clean, but mostly mostly clean. Well, I don't know. Thank you, Cakes. I'm glad you've enjoyed yourself. This is basically what a Wednesday afternoon is like here. Most of the people that are in the chat are part of the furniture or bad pennies, if you like. They just keep turning up. But it's a very safe space here, and we just come to enjoy ourselves and all hang out. That's what a Wednesday's for. So if you're free to join us again, please do. It's been lovely to have you, and thanks for subscribing as well. That's it. It's always nice to have another subscriber. Can you imagine what people think when watching the replays, not having the chat to understand it? Well, to be fair, you can pull up the chat with the replays, but even at that, I think people will be like, what the actual hell? It's like, let's do this with no context and see what happens. It's all fine and dandy. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Jock is sound asleep, and he's got his head like, I don't even know how he can breathe right now, but I need to go and check on Pip, see if she's okay. So I want to thank you all once again for joining me. As I said at the beginning, there's not going to be a live stream next week and into the following week. Papa Jem and I are going to spend a little bit of time together and just remember Mum and try and keep ourselves afloat and keep positive and look forward and try and remember all the nice things and not to get too much down in the doldrums. But I do have videos lined up for you, so you can watch those at your leisure, and I will catch up with you really soon back in the cave for more fun with arty stuff. I was going to say maybe I'll have this painting further on than it is now, but we all know that that's a lie. It's going to be another couple of weeks before I can do that. All right, guys, thank you very much. I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.